What a game. What a game. It was a great game that I just saw for Super Bowl 56. All right, so I'm going to be here to recap exactly what happened. I'm going to talk about the stats. I'm going to talk about the events that happened. I'm going to give away my thoughts on how this game played out. I'm also going to give a little bit of what I thought about the halftime concert as well. Overall, just a great Super Bowl that I just watched, even if you guys think that the refs got a little too involved in the last 2 minutes of the game. But before I say anything else, though, I want to go ahead and present you guys the topic question. So here it is. What is your reaction to the results of Super Bowl 56? Well, like I said, it was a great game that was played out. Players made plays happen. Like I anticipated, I thought it would be a defensive struggle to an extent. And I also thought that Matthew Stafford would make enough plays to win this game, and he did exactly that, even with the injuries. No Tyler Higbee. OBJ gets injured in the second quarter. Doesn't matter. The man made enough plays to win the football game, and he made the throws that were necessary for his team to come through under pressure, and they did it. They won this game, and you got to give them major props for it. Matthew Stafford, 26 of 40, 283 yards, 3 passing touchdowns. He did throw the 2 interceptions, but like I always say to people, not all turnovers are created equal. You look at the context of those 2 interceptions. The first interception is a third and long play. You ideally want to get it to the end zone. Hey, if it's a picked off, it's basically like a punt. All right, so and I'm not hurting them because it didn't lead to points off turnovers. Then you look at the second interception that the man threw. All right, that's just a rookie receiver trying to make a one-handed catch. He shouldn't have had that in the air. That's the receiver's fault. All right, so now that we've gotten those 2 interceptions that Matthew Stafford threw out of the way, now let's address how the game actually played out. Okay, so like I said, Stafford, early on, he was cruising in control. First touchdown he throws to Odell Beckham. I had covered Odell Beckham last week. I had a guest on here, and we were talking about how Odell Beckham was going to have a huge game against the Bengals. And with the matchups that he was going to be getting, especially against somebody like Mike Hilton or Eli Apple, he was going to take advantage of it big time. And sure enough, he did because he was getting open repeatedly. I know that he only ended up with 2 catches for 52 yards and a touchdown, but man, you could tell that he was getting open and he was just making plays happen. And on that one pass where he didn't catch the ball, he dropped it, that was because he injured his knee. Had he caught that ball, that might have gone for a big play. So when you look at it from that perspective, that was really impressive by what Odell Beckham did. Now, I also want to give credit to Bryson Hopkins. He's an unsung hero for the Rams. He stepped up big time. He's the third string tight end for the Rams. Note Bloom, I believe the backup tight end got hurt in the game. And then there was also Tyler Higbee. Like I said, he was hurt. So he was the third string tight end. He stepped up 4 catches, 47 yards, made some big plays late in the game, made some key receptions. And also the Rams, their running game, man, they could not run the ball whatsoever. Who would have thought that the Cincinnati Bengals rush defense would have been as good as what they were? If you told me that the Los Angeles Rams were going to run for 43 yards off of 23 carries and that their longest rush of the night would be 8 yards, I would have been like, okay, that's going to be really difficult for Matthew Stafford to get anything going on offense, but he stepped up. This is the difference between a Jared Goff and a Matthew Stafford. All right, if Jared Goff was the quarterback for the Rams yesterday, they would not have won that ball game. Jared Goff would have choked under pressure. There's a reason why Jared Goff only put up 3 points in that Super Bowl. That Rams defense was fantastic. So I also want to give credit to them for that as well. But yeah, like I said, this is the difference between a Matthew Stafford and a Jared Goff. Matthew Stafford right there in this game just proved to us that he's a Hall of Famer. And you heard it here right here first. Matthew Stafford is a Hall of Famer. Listen, this man carried Detroit to 3 playoff appearances in 12 years. You know how hard it is to make the playoffs for the Lions? Exactly. It's really difficult to pull off that kind of feat. And this man did it. And then his first year out of Detroit, first year he leaves, they win the Super Bowl. You know how hard it is for a first-year starter to win a Super Bowl? Only Nick Foles and Tom Brady had ever pulled off that feat before while going to a new team and winning a Super Bowl in year one. And as for Nick Foles, he wasn't even a full-time starter. He only started towards the end of the season, and he already had a first stint with the Eagles. Now, the other guy was Tom Brady. Obviously, we know the deal with Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the GOAT. So for Matthew Stafford to pull off that feat, amazing. Because it's really hard to move on to a new team and enjoy immediate success right away. But Matthew Stafford proved that he could do exactly that. I'm really impressed with the work that Matthew Stafford put in. Gotta give him major credit. And of course, I gotta address the Super Bowl 56 MVP, Cooper Kupp. 8 receptions, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns, had a 7-yard rush on 4th and 1 on that jet sweep. Pretty good, man. He came up clutch. He came up clutch and he made the plays necessary. He stepped up on that final drive. On that final drive, he took over and he just proved to us that He had the greatest single season wide receiver season ever. That's what I'm trying to say. He won the Triple Crown. He won the Super Bowl. He made the game-winning touchdown catch, and he won Super Bowl MVP. And he caught it on a fade too. Catching a ball on a fade route is one of the hardest routes that you could run in all of football. And this man managed to pull it off. What a beast. He just made the plays happen. Incredible to see. Now that I've addressed the Rams offense, I want to talk about this Rams defense. Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Taylor Rapp making all those tackles, by the way. Ashawn Robinson, Leonard Floyd, Eric Weddle, Jalen Ramsey to an extent, although he didn't necessarily play that good. But yeah, those dogs all over the place. They sacked Joe Burrow 7 times. Aaron Donald took over that second half. You know what was the turning point of the Rams in the second half on defense? When Aaron Donald shoved Joe Burrow out of bounds, when the Bengals were up 4 in that third quarter, and then the fight ensued. That was the turning point. That was when Aaron Donald turned up that motor. And Aaron Donald, he had that fight in him. And you just look at how he just took over. Bengals had no answers for him. They couldn't stop Aaron Donald whatsoever. They couldn't stop Von Miller either. Heck, they couldn't even stop anybody on that Rams defensive line. Just amazing to see. You look at also late in the game too. 2nd and 1. They don't get the first down for the Bengals. 3rd and 1. They run the ball to Samaje Perine. By the way, they should have given that ball to Joe Mixon or thrown the ball. I don't know why you call that play in that situation. And they run it right into Aaron Donald. Of course, Aaron Donald stuffs up the play. Then 4th and 1. Aaron Donald beats his man. Basically sacks Joe Burrow, but Burrow threw it up, went incomplete. But basically, he hurried Burrow into an incompletion. And if that's Aaron Donald's final play of his career, I'd say he ended up on top. He's one of the greatest defensive players to have ever played the game of football. Very impressive stuff to see from Aaron Donald. I honestly think that Aaron Donald, if you wanted to argue that he should have won Super Bowl MVP, I'm not going to stop you because he took over that second half. He made the key plays necessary, but I think they got it right. I think Cooper Kupp absolutely deserved to win MVP because everybody in that stadium knew that ball was going to go to Cooper Kupp, and they still couldn't stop it. So that proves that Cooper Kupp, there's no answer to stop him under pressure. He's the one who made the game-winning catch. He's the one who made all those receptions. He's the one who converted that 4th and 1 on that jet sweep. Very impressive stuff. Now, I want to address the Bengals a bit. I don't know why the Bengals didn't run the ball as often as they did. They only ran the ball 20 times. They actually got 79 yards off of it. Joe Mixon was averaging 4.8 yards per carry. They should have been running the ball way more than what they were doing, especially when Burrow was getting pressured. They were leading, but they were dropping back so often. And Burrow just kept getting pressured and pressured and pressured. So that just was not a very smart game plan. I think that the Cincinnati Bengals did not do a good job game planning against this Rams pass rush in the second half. But hey, give credit to the Rams where credit is due. All right, man. So just really impressed with all that. And I also want to address the final 2 minutes of the Super Bowl. They called a lot of flags against the Bengals. Holding, pass interference. I mean, there were a lot of questionable calls. But also, I could also say, hey, on that touchdown pass that Joe Burrow threw 75 yards to T. Higgins, there should have been a flag on that play. Because you know why? Because he face masked Jalen Ramsey before he made that catch. So I say that the game bounces back out. And we can be nitpicky about the refs all they want. But if the Cincinnati Bengals, if they had made better game plans, if they had protected Joe Burrow better, they would have won this game. But the fact of the matter is, they didn't. The Rams, they made the plays necessary to win that game. That's exactly what they did. Earlier in the week, I was talking with a guest who was the better combination, Joe Burrow or Jamar Chase or Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and I was arguing that it was Stafford Kupp, and this game proved exactly that. I also made game picks last week as well. I also said that Matthew Stafford would throw a game-winning touchdown pass to Cooper Kupp. That's exactly what happened. So I'm pretty happy that I got my game picks right. I nailed down how the Super Bowl is going to play out. If Johnny Hekker doesn't fumble that hold, then the Rams win by 4, which is exactly what I said was going to happen. So I basically called this game. Very happy with how this game played out. That is why I have the reactions that I have to the Rams winning Super Bowl 56 by the score of 23-20, with Cooper Kupp winning Super Bowl 56 MVP honors. So, shout out number 1, as you guys can clearly see, goes to Kimi Jenkins. He says, great video. He's talking about the Mike McDaniel hire. All right. Yeah, thank you for the compliment, man. Continue commenting, continue liking my videos. The more you guys watch the channel, the more that the channel grows. So, that's shout out number 1. Let's move on now to shout out number 2. That is going to be Fire Reacts. All right, so he says this one is close, but I got to go Stafford Kupp. He's talking about the Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford combination in the Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow situation. Well, I got to say, man, you were right about that. I was right about that. Good job to that. And, hey, I'm pretty happy with how this game played out. So that's what I got to say about shout number 2. Let's move on now to shout number 3. It goes to Low Gaming. All right, he says wouldn't be surprised if Van Jefferson had a few catches also. Yeah, he made some plays in the Super Bowl. He didn't necessarily make a huge difference on the game, but he made enough plays to where he was a contributor in this ball game. Now let's move on to shout number 4, which is going to be Spencer Burrow. All right, so he says, yeah, it's his best chance. He's talking about, does Matthew Stafford need to win a Super Bowl now? Yeah, of course, it's his best chance, and he cashed in. He took advantage of that. Great job to Matthew Stafford for that. This is why we got to put this man in the Hall of Fame. Matthew Stafford is a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. Let's move on now to shout number 5. That is going to be Bin Ta. All right, so he says, I got the Rams 31-24. Well, the game wasn't as high scoring as that, but hey, good job for making your comment. Good job for making the game pick and the score and predicting the correct winner. I want to give you major props for that. And I have a special shout out. Special shout out number 6 goes to What's Holding Up. All right, so he makes game picks. He said Rams 23-20. Now look at the day. It says 2 days ago. So that means he said this before the game actually played out. Wow, this guy nailed down his score pick because the game ended up being 23-20 Rams, just like how this guy said Rams 23-20. So this guy called it, read it like a book. Really impressed with this ability to predict. So I want to give him major props for that. So those are the 6 shout outs that I'm going to be showing you guys for this week. So good job to those guys for commenting, because now you guys got to be featured. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking. Like the video and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in a future video. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at DustinSTran and at Tran Talks. Also, go follow me on Twitter at DustinSTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Sports Guy Talking to get the latest from the show, Tran Talks. Go ahead and like the video. Comment down below. Check the description box on the video in order to follow my socials. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from Tran Talks on the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.